Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah. How are
Hello,
you?
boss. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Dah makan?
Belum, masih kat office ni.
Alamak. Ni apa? Last kopi ah? Tomorrow, one
No,
more day
not
in the
last
office.
kopi because we need to bring back some stuff. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, you said you were moving just now. Moving some stuff.
yep. So going, I mean in office and then clearing all this stuff lah. Bring
So
back
that you
all the
can, so
laptops
that you
and
can work
everything.
from home properly, right?
Honestly, I don't think I can with 4 kids who are all staying at home.
You know, I have 4 kids too, right? And I look at their HBL, their home-based learning. Wow.
Mm,
Pening, man. So much to look into.
precisely.
Yes.
I think the teachers need to know that we can't do it for 6 or 8 hours.
True, true. Um, so how are we going to do our work when we have to attend to their work? You know, so I've been doing stay home notice for the last 2 weeks, right?
Mm,
And even then, two of my kids have actually all of them have been getting homework. And so we will get updates from teachers every day. Like, can you check, please? Hannah has not done this homework. Has Hakim done this homework, please? And like, stress, you know, like there's so much for us to look at. And yeah, the end parents were stressing.
yep,
Yeah,
same. And somehow we 4. I think
yeah.
yours 3 and 3 in school.
Four.
Both 4 in school.
No, even
Oh,
the preschoolers have homework. They also have.
oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Interesting. So anyway, welcome once again. This is our second time I think doing this IG live.
Yep.
I think the first time we were able to do together outdoors, but now with social distancing and everything close, we have to do it like this. But
Yep.
I think, Alhamdulillah, for technology, we still get to do this. So, thank you everyone for tuning in. Let me just bring us back to maybe like a month and a half or 2 months ago. I asked you
Mm,
guys about if you have any questions about money, about savings, investments, insurance, things like that. And I think we got a lot of questions. And so tonight we want to try to address some of your queries. If you have any new questions, please do not hesitate to type your questions below in the comments or even using the question feature below. Okay, guys? So Firdaus is, like I said, is running MFAG. They've been supporting Safina as well as the Good Life podcast for quite some time. Truly appreciative. And they
alhamdulillah.
do a lot of work on the ground, meeting with people, helping families, educating as well. They do a lot of public programs, right? You do a lot of public programs.
Yeah, we
Uh,
used to do, except for
yes.
now.
Yeah. So now they're going to do online more. And so this is one of the initiatives, I believe.
Yep.
Okay. So among the popular questions that I saw, maybe we can get the ball rolling already, is
Yeah.
that um, I noticed, okay, let's start something very basic lah. People are saying about they want to save. Let's talk about savings. So they say we
Mm,
want to save. I saw one of the questions said that I have emergency funds set aside, but
good.
even my emergency funds normally get used up every month
Mm. Is this the
because
one yang
of
oven rosak, is it?
I think so. Um,
Okay.
so so like it's tough.
Mm,
Maybe they save up for 2 or 3 months, but then suddenly, in 1 month they need to use all of it. How many of you can
mm.
relate to this, right? I'm pretty sure there are people who can also relate to this person's question. How do you discipline yourself so that you do not touch money that you've put aside for rainy days, for savings? What's your advice for that?
Okay, so basically, first of all, it's a habit.
Yeah.
Okay, so you must start with having that habit of saving, and it starts with budgeting. So
Mm.
first kali, you must really have a proper budget. That means a proper budget with savings set aside. Okay,
Okay.
every month, and you must follow the budget. The best
Okay.
thing is to follow the budget. So to avoid things like using up your emergency savings and so on. So if it's a monthly habit and it keeps going on and on and on, your emergency savings will grow.
Mm.
Okay. So for example, okay, you baru start. Let's say next month, you only save $200 as emergency savings.
Yeah.
And then the following month, 200, 200, 200. And then in between, your oven rosa or whatever it is.
Mm.
Yep, you use up a bit, some of it. But it can still continue to go up. I really don't think that every month you have a like situation whereby your TV spoil, your oven spoil, and all these things. So
Yeah.
it starts with first sekali budgeting and the habit itself.
Mm.
The habit of following all your budget, and the budget must include the saving portion whereby you already set aside. And when we talk about habits, right? So habits ni basically is like how would I put this? You really must do it properly. As in
Mm.
like, okay, this is a good example. Usually when we get our gaji,
Salary.
our
Yeah.
salary, what we do is that, okay, online, bayar, pay,
Mm-hmm.
and then,
We are left with peanuts, and then
yeah, and then you give some to yourself, your parents, and so on and so forth. So what should be the right way is that tonight, let's say 12 o'clock, your salary come in, $200 or whatever the amount you want to save, go somewhere else first. And
Okay.
then you start paying the other things.
So you put aside money for savings first before you start paying everything else.
Yes,
Okay.
that should be the proper way, because once you start paying everything else and then you see whatever is balanced, and then suddenly as you go along the month, your ideas start to come. Maybe nampak benda ni macam, I still got money. Yeah, this thing, you know?
Yeah.
So if you see lesser of it, you won't really like think that you want to buy, because you know exactly your reality is that, okay, I'm left with this amount instead. Okay, last time what I used to do was that I put it in another account, and in this account I purposely only have a bank book, but I don't think it's applicable now because everything is digital. So it's like you log in DBS, and then suddenly you see six
You can
accounts,
see
and then
all. You can see
you
all
can
the
see all,
accounts,
and then you transfer again.
Gatal.
Correct. So another way what you can do is, if let's say you are staying with your parents, I used to do this last time also. I give it to my mother because I inform her lah that this is for safekeeping. I shouldn't use unless really emergency. So the thing about trying to take from mothers is that, kau nak buat apa dengan duit ni? Asal kau nak belanja? Asal kau membazir? And so forth. So you want to take also, you're like, okay, forget it.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah,
Especially
you
if
need
you
to
have a mom
justify
that
so
likes
many
to
things.
lecture you. If you have a mom that likes to lecture you, even better, probably.
Yes.
More
So
effective.
it could be, a family member that you trust, I would say, but I think parents is the best lah.
Yeah. So Fika, one of the followers here, she's saying, I ikut macam CPF, dah dapat salary terus separate. Yeah, that's a good idea. Like we don't even see our CPF money, right? It's like immediately put aside automatically. So I think we should, like what Firdaus is saying, we should try to do the same thing when it comes to our savings or even money that maybe at one point we want to invest in.
True.
Good. Okay. Among the other questions that I saw was they're saying, how do I ensure that my income, my earnings, and whatever I spend on, there is some kind of barakah and blessing in it?
Okay.
What's your personal practice? Right.
My own personal practice.
Let me say first lah. So for me, I think it's important, like what you said earlier, to give to your parents. I think this is something that should be top priority. I believe also very strongly that barakah comes if you provide for your family. Like the best charity, the Prophet ﷺ said, is when you feed your own family. So if you're a husband and you have a wife, and in putting food on the table, ensuring that there's adequate meals for everyone every day, that is one of the best charitable things that you can do. Feeding your children, even things like that, as basic as that, will ensure that there is barakah and blessings. In other words, it's not about spending. Macam tadi you cakap, take money immediately to put aside for yourself. What a lot of people do is that they take money and then they spend on themselves first. You know, this is what people call retail therapy. So I think you lose on both ends, you know. The first is you lose because you spend that money instead of saving it. The second one, you lose because you tak dapat berkat. You spend on yourself before spending on your loved ones. And so that's my response to that. How about you?
Similar. Is to first kali your dependence. I agree with macam lag Hello? Okay, yeah. So besides that is for me personally is to be grateful first. Have a lot of sense of gratitude because what I practice is that every day, almost every day, before I go to work, I will list down 5 things that I was grateful for yesterday. So it can be as simple as like I have food to eat, I have shelter, that kind of thing. So once you increasing in your gratefulness and you say a lot of Alhamdulillah and so on, I feel you feel more blessed and that you can achieve more sustenance and barakah. And it basically barakah doesn't only only encompass wealth. I mean, you have barakah in relationships and a lot of other things.
In your health is
Yes.
also a big part of rezeki.
Yes, correct. So it is a very broad concept, and then it also doesn't mean that if you do charity, you will increase in benefit, as in like in amount itself, because it is something that difficult for humans to really explain because this is from God itself, Yeah.
I remember, that famous ayat in the Quran, La in shakartum la azidannakum. If you are grateful to me, then I will bless you with more, Allah says. A lot of people think in terms of money. So whenever for example, they see money coming into their bank account, salary, then they say Alhamdulillah, syukur, and they expect next month they get a salary increment automatically. But then I remember having this forum perdana with this Indonesian imam lah. He's the imam of Masjid Istiqlal, the big mosque in Jakarta, the biggest mosque. So he said that Allah did not say, if you are grateful, I will bless you with more money. Allah says, La azidannakum, I will bless you with more. I will bless you. Maknanya, it could be your health, your intellect, your emotional intelligence, like what you said, enhance and enrich your relationships, upgrade your spirituality. And there are so many other ways that you can grow, and it's not just money. But perhaps when you grow in terms of your intellect, that becomes another source of income. When you increase in your experience of running a business, then that's another source of potential income in the future. It's indirect, I would say. If you still think it's about money, it's super indirect. But when you have peace in your family relationships, then you don't worry, because worry usually causes money to run away from you. So you need to be calm and relax, and then you will attract more. So yeah, I think it's like that. It's my take.
BMW bring more worries.
Yeah, scary. Okay. So, Firdaus, I saw a question from Bole Ali. He says,
okay,
how about saving for students? Any tips?
Okay, saving for students. First of all, where do you get? Is it from allowance or you're working part time or? Because
let's say they are working part time. I know a lot of students who do this.
Okay, so it's same thing. It starts with budgeting first. So, okay, in budgeting itself, there is something called fixed cost or variable cost. Okay, something fixed can be like your handphone bill.
Yep.
And then something variable can be
transport, like going to school, coming back. That could be fixed.
Yeah, that could be fixed as well. So something variable could be as a student. Actually,
students not that many.
Not much. Yeah, not much. Yeah. So if you have a lot of fixed, then you need to lower it a bit. If variable, yes, you have to lower both ways. Variable or fixed, you have to lower.
But I think fixed, you can try to control, right? If, I don't know, maybe your meals, instead of eating desserts every day, you can cut down on desserts, then maybe start saving.
Not only on desserts. I mean, I'm sorry, but some of the students like Starbucks and everything.
True.
It's an
That's pretty high end.
expensive coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, you go there to
I
start.
dengan Firdaus, kita duduk kedai kopi tau. Minum kopi $1, 20 cent. You all minum Starbucks lah. Macam mana ni? But anyway.
Yeah. Not saying it's wrong, but yeah, that is something that can be lowered. As a matter of fact, the times that we're living in right now, there is so many things that you can cut that is way better. I mean, last time when I was having my handphone bills is like 100 plus and everything. And then now you can have like unlimited data for like $40. It's like suddenly you save $60. Yeah. Yeah. And then other things like even electricity and so on. So certain fixed costs, you must find a way to lessen it lah. And food, yes, you can lower it down. Transport, of course, public transport is the cheapest.
Sure. Thank you so much. Okay. Next question from the list of questions that we got from the last time was a question on investments. It's a beginner's question, like, what should I look out for when I want to start investing money? So imagine like someone super amateur in this area. What are the main things that a person should look out for? If there are, let's say, top 3 things that I should do before I start investing my money, because I think a lot of people, maybe they already have some money set aside. They just can't invest because they don't know. So
Okay.
what would
Okay, first of all, you need to know the tenure. How long do you want to keep investing? Is it like 10 years, 20 years? Even short term, maybe.
Can you explain why it's important for them to know this?
Okay, this is important because you have an entry and exit strategy.
Betul.
Okay, so you know, like, okay, in 15 years time, I will be.
Everyone has the luxury to, I don't want to see my money for 20 years, kan? Some people
Yeah, of
may
course.
do it at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, and this also has to do with your emergency funds because the more you have, the more you can sustain.
True.
You see, you can last the investment cycle longer and not be worried with whatever is happening, especially right now throughout the world. Yeah. You see? So that is one point lah. And then the other portion is the amount itself. As in like, do you want to do it in one lump sum or yearly or monthly? My advice is to do it monthly because if you do it monthly, you are lowering your risk. Why? Because when you are investing, you see the investment market, every time the price will change.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you are doing one lump sum, if you go in at a high price, the chances of you losing, yes, correct. The probability is there. Rather than you do monthly. If you do monthly, they call it dollar cost averaging. So what they do is you buy investment units at different price. And then when you leverage out throughout 10, 20 years, most likely it'll be on the up curve. Okay, at the same time, you also need to do some research on the instruments itself because nowadays there's so many things available. And our community has this thing whereby we always want to get rich quick. So whatever it is, we tend to sort of believe, I don't know. But yeah, please do a lot of research and go for those that are legal in a sense that it is backed by, let's say, MAS or the government or something like that. Because if there's any implications, these institutions will be the one having the laws that will protect you itself. For example, even if you save in the bank right now, if the bank goes bust, there is a $50,000 and above that they guarantee you. Actually, yeah, because it's done by the law itself. They are protecting you. Yeah. And in Singapore, it's difficult to even get a license to set up, let's say, any financial institution, the big ones like the banks or all these things. You need to show hand all your assets and everything. It's not like I anyhow go online and just set up and then, no, AB approved. No, that's not how it works. Yeah, so my advice is that tenure, amount, and then your risk appetite as well. Sorry, I forgot about it. Your risk appetite. Whether you're a balanced investor or you are those like very, very risky type, you can hold very high risk tolerance. That means risk appetite is the one of the things is that you need to know is that if you go for very high risk, the chances of profit is higher.
Okay.
But I give you a
chance of losing also high.
Yeah, so it's like a scale of like plus 20% to minus 20%, something like that. So if you are balanced or moderate, let's say it's like plus 7, minus 7, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. There is no such thing as like, I want to minus 3, but I want to plus 40. No such thing. Yeah, no
That's
such
an
thing.
example of a potential Ponzi scheme.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So there are a few questions here. How do I convince people older than me to start investing? I'm imagining this person is asking about their own parents, maybe. Parents have money that they've been saving up, dah kerja 40 tahun, but the parents are just saving. Parents don't want to invest. So parents are not the kind who likes to take risks. Maybe they've been burned before. I don't know. So how do you convince our older generation to consider opening up for investments? Do you have older clients, Firdaus, your team?
Yes, we do. We have up till 50s or so who are investing.
So what's your tip for this?
Okay, first of all, we need to assess the risk appetite again. And usually for the older ones, my advice is not to take too high risk because,
there's no way for them to make it up.
Yes. Yes, you are absolutely right. So we usually go on a balanced, moderate approach, or even sometimes lower risk kind of approach. We don't go very high. So how to open them up? To be honest, it is not that easy. It's challenging because this is talking about belief system. Because some people, like I say, if they have a bad experience being burned out before, it is, it is quite challenging to open up their mindset.
And I think some of them also, they feel like this is my hard-earned money, I've been working for 3 decades, 35 years, So, you just want to take my money. In the end, if I lose everything, then how,
Yep.
So we can usually understand reservations.
Usually my advice is to not part with everything. Let's say if you have 200,000, let's just do 20 grand, something like that. Yeah, as a start. And then we see how it goes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Let's start looking at some of the questions that we already see here. Ustaz Nuzaihan, Assalamualaikum Ustaz. What are the do's and don'ts from a financial point of view during this COVID-19? What's your this is a very current question.
Okay.
I checked out the prices on the stock market recently. Like everything's red lah, everything's down.
Yes, it's a sale out there.
Exactly. So what should people look out for?
Okay. If you want to invest, yes, this is one of the best times. That's what I would say. Okay, the market probably is a correction. There might be further drops. I'm not too sure, and it's difficult to speculate. But all I'm saying that if you want to invest, this is one of the best times. It's for example, like Singapore has this Great Singapore Sale, and yes, right now is the Great Singapore and Great Investment Sale right now.
Yeah, correct.
I know of people who make from REITs 70% in just 2 weeks. But that they have money, have a lot of info and kind of things. So one of the things that you can do is to invest if you have a lot of spare cash or you have access. In terms of the do's and don'ts for now, okay, for those who are currently facing difficulties due to their work in terms of this COVID, like being taken leave of absence and everything, you really have to budget everything properly because these are all the tough times that we are facing. So this is where actually, if emergency funds was there, it could really help you.
Yeah.
During these times, yeah. For the way I look at it for now, it's best to be prudent in terms of spending, but to be greedy in terms of investing.
Okay? That's a good advice.
Yes, because this is the time that you can potentially, make some profits. I mean, if you can hold for the next 3, 4, 5 years, yes, there is a chance there. Okay.
Kalau I nak invest in toilet paper boleh tak? Because banyak orang nak beli, so nanti high demand. I sell one packet for $10.
We were talking about this some with my guys about the mask and everything because this is demand and supply.
True.
Some people will call it profiteering, but actually this is demand and supply because suddenly the demand goes up and the supply is low, yeah, maybe invest in toilet paper. I don't know.
I don't like just kidding anyway. But I mean, to repeat what you said earlier, now is the best time to be prudent in your spending and to be greedy in your investments, correct?
Yes.
So
And with this,
I'm gonna tweet that.
yeah, and with this work from home thing, you're spending lesser, because you are eating at home and everything. Unless you
True.
every bill you order Grab,
Every
then
day order.
mati, yeah, like that, mati, like mati.
Every day Grab food, Foodpanda. Yeah?
Habis. And by the way, someone told me that the surcharge went up for Grab food or something like that because of this period. I'm not too sure, but someone told me that. Yeah, so so expect this kind of thing. So to me, it's like, okay, stay at home, work from home. You don't need to spend on transport. You don't need to spend too much on food. The best time for you to be prudent and the best time to be greedy in terms of investing.
That's true. Thank you so much. Okay. Let me see what else. Okay. What halal investment recommendations would you give? Maybe you
Okay.
can give one or two.
Okay. On the market, there's a few. So what you can do is you can invest in managed funds that are Muslim friendly. So basically, these investments, what they do is that they don't invest in like brewery companies or even like what they call it,
Casinos.
gambling, casinos, and even financial sectors, because the banks, they make money through loans. So there's no issue of like was or all these things. So you can go for this type of investments. It's difficult for me to elaborate more on how the plan works because there's so many plans. But in general view is that you can do investment every month or yearly itself and into this type of investments. And they work through like deduction from your gyro and so on. So to know more, you can DM us lah. Okay, then
Yeah.
we can do a virtual consultation and so on. I mean, with
Yeah,
this COVID, we are not even meeting
for
lah.
all who are watching right now, I sat down with one of the agents in MFAG. Is that what you call yourself, agents? I still don't know.
Can
Agents,
also.
agents from MFAG, and they explained to me thoroughly. So it's really good because you can ask anything you want during that session as well, and they will explain to you thoroughly. So let's say if you are a beginner, especially if you've had zero investments ever, if you want to have more clarity even, just to sit down and talk je, macam where you are right now financially, I think they would be more than happy to meet you and to talk to you about this. So yeah, just DM them, okay?
Virtual. We are doing virtual consultation now.
Correct, now no more face-to-face.
No more face-to-face.
What do you think about investing in gold?
Gold. Okay, gold is a very good investment as well.
Is it stable?
So far it has been. The only, okay, it is good to I have alamak nak cakap pun susah, life lupa.
Why?
I macam seeing like as if I'm talking to you ni. So investing in gold basically is a good form of investment as well because it does hold against inflation and so on. The only few issues is that, okay, number one is you have to pay zakat lah. I mean, okay, of course, every investment you still need to pay zakat. Okay, it's liquidity, in terms of liquidity. Okay, you need to sell it and then to get the cash and so on. That's one point. And then how much gold are you going to hold?
Yeah.
Honestly. And is it safe to put in your home if you hold that much? So you need to think of other things. So to me, it's like, it is another form of investment that you can consider. And you should invest in a series of other things as well.
I remember, I'm sure there still is, which bank, HSBC or what? They have this gold, silver investments that is on paper lah, macam, what do you call it? I forgot.
UOB.
What is it called? UOB, correct,
UOB, yes.
So they have that. So you're not holding on to the gold physically, am I right?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's I guess another option to consider.
That could be one option. Yeah.
Okay, Sharifah has a question. Help, trading account with the bank will take a month to process now. And I think she's asking how because she wants to invest now because there's a sale. So kalau you invest in a trading account with the bank, I think it will take a month. So what's your advice?
Where is the question? I'm trying to find the question. Hang on there. Trading
Atas.
account.
Help nama dia Hello Sharifah.
Oh goodness. Couldn't find it. Okay, never mind. So basically she wants to open up a trading account, is it?
Yeah, with the bank, but it will take a month to process. But she wants to seize the opportunity now. How?
Okay, you can consider other options instead of like investing in the stock market. You can consider things like mutual funds or unit trusts, which are simpler, and you can have access to it straight away. I think this has got to do with your CDP, if I'm not mistaken. If that is
Yes.
exactly what the question is, yeah. So
Have
yes,
to open a CDP account.
yeah, have to open CDP. So yeah, it will take some time because of this COVID. So there's no two ways about it because it's a government regulation.
Right.
But you
Just
can
have to
consider
wait.
other things about managed fund or unit trust that also my MFA group has, which is instant access lah. It will only take about 1 to 2 days of processing. That's it.
Cool. So you can DM MFAG later to find out more. Thrill Junkie says, Salam Ustaz Najwa, just wanted to weigh in my point of view. Just because stocks are down 30% does not mean that they are on sale. This crisis, unlike any other we have experienced before, since this is an exogenous shock and demand and supply of the world economy, please be careful and do due diligence. Yeah, I mean, due diligence must be done regardless lah.
Yep.
Any investment. I mean, I don't think what we are suggesting is sekarang kan tutup mata, just pick any stock, confirm can make money kan. We have to do due diligence. We have to study the company that we're investing in, their performance over the last, I don't know, 5 years or something, the management, the stability. I mean, in Islamic finance, as far as what I learned, because I'm a Sharia student, Ustaz Nuzahan, kalau masih ada kat dalam this group, please comment also.
Yeah.
I know that it is haram, it is wrong though, to invest when you don't understand what you're investing in. It is wrong. That's why kita kena belajar. That's why we have to meet people, for example, like people in MFAG, who know and they can teach you and they can educate you, because you know why it's wrong to invest in something if you don't know the product? Because that would equate it to gambling. Because gambling is like full of uncertainty. You don't know what's the outcome. If you macam main tikam, macam I think I just try this company, they dropped, their stocks dropped 34% yesterday. So I think it's very cheap right now, so main tikam je. But you don't do your proper studies. Even if it makes a lot of money later, the profit is somewhat questionable. Right? So this is, I'm weighing in now from an Islamic perspective. So I agree with what the person said earlier, that you must study properly, you must do due diligence and research, look at past performances, and then you can invest.
And just to add on, just now, whatever I mentioned is that it can be a correction, it can still go down some more, because right now, the governments are all printing money to save the economy temporarily for now. Yeah.
Okay. Learn before invest, study the company before buy. Thank you, Shazana, for summarizing. Any more questions? Let us know. What is this? There's one question here. Is it enough to just buy shares with the company you're working for? Is it enough to just buy shares with the company you're working for? Oh, I think some companies, they allow their staff to buy shares from their own company, right? Where they're working for, correct? I think that's where this person is coming from. What's your take?
Okay, in investing, it's best to be diversified. Yes, of course, you would feel better off because you're working for this company and buying the shares. But in my own personal opinion, basically it's best to diversify all your investments. So you don't put your eggs in just one basket, basically. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions, guys? Feel free to ask. I'm gonna look at some of the previous questions. One of the questions was from a single. I asked question on the top, Ustaz and brother. Okay, Anis Zul. Let me check. Anis Zul. Gonna scroll.
Itulah.
Scroll. Can you retype your question? Ha ha ha. Cannot find. I seriously cannot find Anis.
Cannot find, yeah.
So sorry. Anyway, let me ask another question first.
Yeah.
One of the old during the last posting, one person asked, I am a single mother and I have children. How do I ensure that I have enough for my kids and I have enough for savings and maybe even at some point investments? So for someone in this predicament, and I mean, let's be honest, she's not alone in this. There are a lot of single parents in Singapore. And I know that money is a huge concern, kan? Like, their worry is very valid. It's like, if anything happens to me, then who's going to support my family, my children? So, what's your advice for people in this kind of situation?
Okay. Firstly is you need to look at what the government initiatives are first, because there are some help that you can get in terms of reducing your costs at times. So first of all, you look at whatever the government initiatives are that is happening lah, that what they are giving for apa ni, based on your income and everything. And then secondly is, again, it's still the same. I know, I feel for you, we have kids as well, so it is challenging. It's still about, again, budgeting properly and really on your needs. And it's no longer about wants anymore.
I know a lot of parents, single parents, right? You know what they do is that they take an extra job even.
Yes.
Because whatever that they are earning right now, macam cukup-cukup makan, you know, and so they need to have an extra job or they work overtime a lot, and that's how they have some kind of an assurance, knowing that okay, my full-time salary is for this, but my additional income is meant for my savings and investment, right?
Yes.
I think that's another common thing.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just a suggestion, but another source of income could be just renting out a room of your house if you are comfortable. But yeah, I mean, if there's a single mother, maybe you just choose a tenant that is a lady. I don't think there's much issues. But yeah, it's for the benefit of, everyone, so that you can have a brighter future.
You can easily rent out, if you're just renting out a room, I think easily you can get 500 a month. Is that realistic?
700
even,
easily. Yeah. Yes.
If your house is near MRT or near the place where they want to work, you can also 700.
I mean, we do understand that sometimes like you have issues of privacy and everything, but sometimes we need to weigh in the situation that we are in and what avenues are available.
Okay. By the way, just want to ask you about something very recent. Like today, the government announced the third budget, which is called the Solidarity Budget. Is there anything you want to highlight for everyone here today about that one?
Honestly, I haven't really had a good look. I just had a glance on it first.
Then how about the previous one, like the Resilient Budget? Anything you want to?
I really think it's a good move by the government itself lah. So the solid. Wait, let me have a look first. Exactly the Solidarity Budget. $300 or so. I feel that to be honest, it's good for employers, even self-employed, because it helps to keep the business sustaining. In fact, I was just telling my staff was telling me just now that one of their friends got retrenched or something like that. A leave of absence, sorry. And then I was telling the person, my staff, that, hey, you're lucky you're still paying you a salary. And then, because of these government initiatives, it had to tighten down a lot more.
Exactly.
In terms of the employees, the $300 and so on, it does help. So again, like I said, now is the time to be really prudent. I mean, $300, if you cook every day at home, you can save. You can save, So, that's roughly my advice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. A lot more questions coming in. What is your opinion on robo-advisor? Do you know what robo-advisor is?
Yes, robo-advisor, okay. Okay, the thing about robo advisor is that
Is it artificial intelligence kind of advising?
yes,
Oh, okay.
yes. So it's like you key in certain things and then they will advise you, and then you can do things online and so on. Okay, good and bad. To me, the good thing is that you don't need to meet anyone, or it's like very simple. Simple,
Okay.
simple,
Okay.
simple. The not so good thing is that in terms of advice, or in terms of like relationship wise and everything, in terms of claims and everything, it's still best to have an advisor.
Mm.
Nah, for example, if you just want to buy, I mean, nowadays you can also buy like direct insurance. There is such a thing. You just buy online and that's it. So when it comes to claims, for example, you still need that human touch at times. You
True.
don't talk to your computers for that. Yeah, you don't. And yes, as much as we are going more on robo and AI and everything, I feel that certain parts of the relationship or the commitment between the advisor and the client itself cannot be replaced. Yeah, it cannot be replaced.
Because,
It's just that way.
yeah, I
So yeah,
think
certain parts is good, certain parts is yeah, it's like that lah.
I think especially if you're talking about insurance, um, Nauzubillah, you just met with an accident. I don't know whether you would want to deal with a robot if someone you love just passed away.
Mm,
You want to make claims. Macam dealing with a robot, macam there's no human touch.
yes,
There's no compassion.
yes,
So, but I think the other aspect of it is that the danger of just depending solely on an AI is that if you key in one thing wrongly, or you tak tahu sangat what this is, you main key in je, it will churn out probably the wrong advice for you.
mm, mm,
I feel. But
mm,
if there's a person in front of you, maybe the person can double check. Like, are you sure this is, what you want to do? Are you sure this is how much you actually earn? Are you sure this is how much savings you have? Macam then like, okay, maybe not, right? You can make better
mm.
decisions, perhaps. I don't know. So,
Yeah, to an extent, yes, I would say to an extent.
okay, wow, banyak pula soalan tiba-tiba. We have 10 more minutes only because Instagram Live will automatically shut off
1 hour,
after
right?
1 hour.
Yeah.
Lady Lin, you said it's haram to invest and you don't know exactly what to invest in. So is it okay if I trust and leave it to my financial advisor to manage our investment? Because investment knowledge can be overwhelming. I think it's like this. First of all, my take on it is that when you have the financial advisor, you ask as many questions as you want first. To me, that is part of your learning process and educating yourself about what you're getting yourself into. I think trying to understand each and every company that you invest in, it can be a personal homework that you do on your own. Just basic reading. You know that all of these companies, orang macam ada like a profile that you can just read up. That is not too much and not too overwhelming, right? And at the end of the day, also, let's say maybe sometimes when you invest and then you start hearing your friends saying, "Hey, the market is, it's really bad right now. Hey, take out your money, take out your money." That's when you seek your advice from your financial advisor, and then maybe they can advise you accordingly like that. So the homework, the effort still needs to be put in. That's
Mm.
my belief.
So basically, during the consultation itself, the advisor must explain about the product, the features, how it works, and so on and so forth. So you
Mm,
have a generalized or even an in-depth view already of what exactly is happening.
yep,
Yeah.
exactly. Chalk Love says, for a newbie, what is the best form of diversification? Any broad advice on apportionment across different types of investments?
Okay. There can be a few things. It depends on your budget first. Okay. So if budget permits, you can, to make it simple, actually the best way is, of course, is still unit trust and managed funds, because the fund managers are managing it for you.
Mm,
That's the first choice. And then of course you can consider things like you want to do gold, or any other alternatives out there that is available. Yeah. So
Well,
first of all
sorry.
is your
Do you
budget.
also
Mm.
help with REITs by any chance, or no? You don't.
We do have investment into something like a REIT. It's a property kind of thing. There is REITs there. Yeah. But it's a basket of REITs. So that means there are companies like Ascendas REITs, Maple Tree, so on and so
Yeah,
forth.
send us.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What do you think about forex?
I always get this question.
I also always get, so this time I get you to jawab.
uh,
Forex is crazy. I think that's the first one. The spike and its volatility is, from what I've seen from my own study reading, can be a bit haywire. You can make a lot of money overnight. You can lose a lot of money also. But based on Islamic opinion, I've read some scholars and their writing and their research. A lot of them discourage it. Quite a large number actually say it's haram. Especially the ones yang promote it in such a way where it's get rich quick scheme. And you masukkan money, you can, and then I heard that when you invest, sometimes you get free money to start with.
account. Okay.
Yeah, and then you have to pay interest on it or something. I tak faham. But basically, this is an example of me trying to read up on a particular investment and it just confuses me and I don't get it. And then I give up on it. So, because, I just really don't understand it. And I think you shouldn't invest in something you don't understand and you don't get. But I think additionally for me was to also read the Islamic views and opinions on it. And most of it was slanted away from forex, and so that's how I avoid it.
Yeah, I have a similar view as well. If Zahan is still inside, he'll be the best to advise.
Nak kena invite dia lah.
Yeah.
So he'll be your next guest. Okay? You need to invite him next.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to say anything about forex?
Yeah. No.
Okay. Maybe one last one here from Irms. Sometimes we are quite emotional about parting with our money. An advisor will give us the objectivity you need to hear to push through with your investment. Well, kind of true.
Yes. There is a saying that don't put your money at your heart, but put it at your minds. When it comes to money, to be honest, we have to control and manage it. Anyway, it is actually a responsibility, and God has given us the wealth and everything. So, it's a responsibility that we have to manage it with logical decisions most of the time, and not emotional all the time. Because the emotional part is the one that leads us to the nerves, the things that we want to buy, the unnecessary stuff, and many more. So, I mean, she's right in the sense that the advisor will give the objective in terms of what you need to hear to push you through to the investment, and they will give you all the details that you really need. You have to be very practical with it, and not to be too emotional with money, because the emotional part is the part that we need to manage and control, and don't let money control us.
Yeah, and I think that's also where a lot of people fall into all these investment schemes where they end up losing money because, again, they were deciding based on their emotions. Nampak macam, wow, I can make 20% profit, 35% profit, macam gila lah. Then they're like, oh, let's go for it. And then it doesn't work out. And so that's very, very dangerous. So always decide, like Firdaus say, using your logic, think rationally at all times. But it's true what this person said. I think you also need that balance lah. Because if you, I think when people are too logical pun, in the end, they don't end up investing at all. So
Yeah.
But that's why I think speaking to an expert, to a professional, will really, really help. Yep. Okay, I have a question, maybe one last one. So we are days away from Ramadan, and Ramadan used to be the time where our community spends the most.
Let's see
Now,
now.
what's your forecast in terms of community spending? How Malay businesses are gonna be performing or suffering, and Hari Raya period. Like, what's your
Uh, in terms of businesses that are really like providing for this type of like for only our Hari Raya and everything, honestly, I feel for them. But I really think they should consider going virtual,
yeah.
honestly. And not only setting up a shop for website, I think perhaps you go deeper inside video or whatever it is,
Yeah.
to make things easier. But I'm still unsure of the logistic wise for now. Because even things like furniture delivery is all delayed. And we really do not know whether this, work
They can
from
come on
home
time or not.
thing, yes, for all you know, they might extend some more. For
Sure.
all you know, you really do not know the current situation. Uh, the thing is, I ever asked this, I think years ago to my mother about Hari Raya. I was telling her, why must we always have new curtains for Hari Raya? And why must I always have new baju for Hari Raya? I said, I use baju kurung like how many times? I can count my fingers, maybe at most 10 times. Not like you, Ustaz. You like, nak kena ceramah staple. So, kita lain. I was like, I only wear 5-10 times. And then I'm paying 100 plus. I said, and then I buy every year. Macam tak make sense lah. Lepas tu simpan-simpan dah berapuk. Habis dah
Mm.
kuning. You know? Yeah. So,
Is this a good time for us to save up all that money that
yes.
we've been putting aside in nak beli baju raya, ni nak beli kuih raya berlambak-lambak. Who knows, maybe this year tak ada jalan raya pun, right?
Honestly,
Maybe.
yeah. I mean, for now, I mean, our minister already said to not
Stay
even
home.
go visit extended families.
Yeah.
And this last 1 month, of course, okay, by that time it's still fasting month. But you may not know if it extends some more, you see. So,
Sure.
so I think it's the best time for you to save. As for the business owners, they should really consider moving
Going
virtual
online.
fully.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in terms, I think video and everything, but logistic wise, I'm not too sure how it is going to be delivered and so on because.
I think it's a great investment to start going digital because if things go back to normal, you now have another platform, correct? Yeah.
Yep.
So there's no loss there. You're gonna have lots of gains for the future, inshallah.
Yep. And people nowadays want convenience. So that's why the e-commerce is really like booming.
Exactly.
Just click, it will send to my house. That's it. Even shoes, Adidas shoes, everything, you can do that. Click,
Sure.
click, bayar online, they deliver the next day. You try, tak muat, hantar balik. That kind of thing.
Sure. Okay, Firdaus, any last words? Anything else you want to say?
Nothing much.
By the way, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Can I see the poster kat belakang you tu? Macam I just noticed special.
Yeah,
wow.
Because the double-sided, so tak nampak. When I was study positioning, it was me alone, so can see.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, you want to say?
So for those who have more concerns or want to know more advice in terms of investing or financial planning or anything got to do with Muslim financing or even finances, do drop us a DM at MFAGSD inside our IG account. And for now, what we're doing is we're doing virtual consultations itself. So we're not going to meet you also to avoid this spreading to get worse. Because nowadays it's getting a bit more scary. Even if you are healthy and don't have symptoms, yet it can be a carrier. Such things happen. So we're doing virtual consultations. Anything, just drop us a DM, and inshallah,
What's your website? What's your website?
Our website is www.mfeg.sg/home. HOME.
Okay, thank you so much, Firdaus.
Thank you so much, Ustaz Mizi.
Answering the questions from everyone.
Yep.
I hope everybody is a little bit more enlightened. And guys, remember, be prudent in your spending, and hopefully this COVID will disappear very, very soon, and we'll be able to get back to normal, inshallah. Okay, guys, take care.
Take care.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.